Good morning to you all. And I'm going to go ahead and actually get started. I have a lot to do today. So good morning to you all. I have Facebook Live and Periscope up both at the same time. Yay! Sometimes I have difficulties or I don't have two devices available to be. So I have both up. So I'm always excited when I can do both. I had a phone call coming through there. I'm going to have to make a lot of calls after I'm done with Topic Tuesday this morning. But again, I want to go ahead and jump right in because I have a lot of stuff to do. Hey, Mom, I'll call you back as soon as I get off of Topic Tuesday. So one thing that I want to talk about, I hope you all had a great weekend. I had a wonderful weekend. It was filled with a lot of things, events, family time, meetings, ministry, things of that nature. One of the things that I do want to talk about is I want to talk about She Networks, which is a network that I'm a founder on Facebook. And what it is, it's a women empowerment network. It's for wives, it's for mothers, business owners, or just women in particular. And it's a place for us to come to get strength, help, and empowerment. Well, good morning to you all. We had our very first ATL meet and greet, so I'm so excited about that. It went so well, y'all. I'm so excited. Thank you. Somebody said, somebody on Periscope said, keep grinding. That's what I'm trying to do. One day it's going to pay off. And a lot of doors have been opening lately. So I'm very grateful for that. I actually just, I didn't officially sign on, but I have a meeting on Thursday to sign on to another project. So I'm really excited about that. And then not only is that project going to help me, it's going to be able to help two of my kids. So that's very exciting because you definitely want to keep it in the family and help out one another. But the meet and greet that we had on Saturday was great. It was from 11:30. It was supposed to be until 1. We went a little bit over. I met an amazing group of women, and I definitely am grateful that I was able to meet them, and I'm definitely looking forward to working with them in the very near future. When I tell y'all, the meet and greet was just so amazing. Who was supposed to be there was there. What was supposed to be said was said. What was supposed to be done was done. And the way it flowed, it was just great. Oh my God, it was great. I cannot wait to the next one. I am putting together the next event, which will be a meetup instead of a meet and greet. We've already met and greeted each other. So you're more than welcome to come with us on the next event, which for She Networks is going to be a meetup, and that's going to be in the month of November. So look out for that information. If you're not already a part of the network, again, it's She Networks on Facebook. Go ahead and subscribe or join that particular network. We talk about various things there, and it's just a great time amongst women who are not competing with one another, women who are not trying to climb on top of one another to reach the top. It's solely for women who are wanting to come and help each other out and just connect with one another so that we all can reach our goals. So that's what it's about. Thank you so much for the hearts on Periscope. So I just wanted to go over that. I hope you had a great weekend. I had an awesome weekend. So awesome that it left me so tired on Monday. And that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. Chores. I don't know if you've seen the title. Monday. Oh, you're welcome. On Mondays, I usually don't do a whole lot because I'm still trying to recoup from the weekend things and what I have that builds up into the weekends, like the latter part of the week prior. But yesterday, I said I was going to try to take a nap. It never happened. I had posted that on Facebook because it was email after email, text after text, phone call after phone call. But I got a lot of work done, so I'm grateful for that. I definitely won't get a nap any other day this week. If any chances for a nap, most times it's on Monday. But I'm just grateful to be in a season in my life where I'm just sowing seeds in my own business. I'm doing a lot of things done. I'm laughing at someone on Periscope. I'm getting a lot of things done, and those are going to be seeds that I reap in future seasons. So I'm really grateful for that. And like someone said on Periscope, it's just grind time right now. That's all it is. So for the last couple weeks, thank you for joining me for Topic Tuesday, by the way. And good morning to you all, anyone who's joined me since I've started. The last couple weeks on Periscope and Facebook Live, we've been talking about balancing day-to-day life as a wife-mompreneur, if you find yourself in any of those categories or just a woman in general. And then the last 2 weeks, this is our third topic, and I should have put that in the title. When I put it on my blog and I put it on YouTube, I'll make sure I put that this is part 3. So the last two parts that we discussed the prior weeks, we're talking about breaking down planning for the week. So today again, I'm coming with part 3, and I'm looking at my notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything. For those of you who may be joining me who are new on Periscope, I am Tramika, Craddock planner, event consultant, and business and relationship coach. And again, like I said, we've been talking about just different ways that you can balance day-to-day life. You can be an entrepreneur and a stay-at-home mom, and you can go to school, or you can work a full-time job, or you can work in ministry, or you can be married. You can do all these things. It's just a matter of having balance so that you'll be able to do them efficiently without getting frustrated. And with balance comes planning. That's how you get that balance. You have to pre-plan, you have to prep. So that is something that I've been discussing, because I get asked all the time, how do you balance things so well? And it's not an easy job, but in that times, like I mentioned before, sometimes things can get off balance, but you have to look at that point and say, hey, I need to put things back into perspective. So not to go into all of that, but just to recap really quickly, we talked about planning. The last few weeks, we talked about making sure you have certain areas organized, as such as your car, your workspace, your room, living room, kitchen, specifically your cabinets and your refrigerator. So that was some of the things that we talked about over the course of the last couple weeks. Having those main spaces that you're in every day, making sure they're organized so that you can flow through them efficiently. And then we talked about, when we talked about breaking down things for the week, we talked about, let me say this, planning for the week, coming up with some type of general calendar or something that you can use to start jotting down the things to expect for the week. And then I put something out on Facebook with the Sunday prep, and that's where you're going to on Sundays. And again, your prep day may be different. You're going to look ahead at your week, see what you can you come and organize mine. I would love to, at a cost. That was my mom, y'all. So we talked about just having Sunday prep, where we're going to look ahead, or we're actually going to plan ahead, actually create a schedule for the week ahead, so that we'll know what we're getting ourselves into, what to put on each particular day, so that we don't get overwhelmed and we don't get frustrated. So the main categories that we've already discussed is your food and meals. And all this information is on my blog. So meal prepping, we talked about cook days, leftover days, quick meal days, and free choice days. That's what our food. And we talk about prepping for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and for snacks. And then the second main category we talked about is creating a schedule or planning with our work. Whether you work 9 to 5 or you're a business owner and you have a particular time that you are open for business, appointments, in meetings. And we talked about the biggest part of that was time management. That's what we talked about last week. So and then I went over some questions as well. So that's some of the things we talked about. I don't want to go into those with details because I only have a few minutes left, because I do want to move quickly today. But please go on my YouTube channel, Tramika Craddock, or my website, tramikacraddock.com. Go to the blog page and you can see when we first started this particular topic or this agenda, and then you can see part 1 and part 2. So right now there's 3 videos out there, and this is going to make the 4th, which is part 3 on breaking down your week of planning. And today I want to talk about a to-do list and your chore list. And I said, for weeks I kept telling y'all I was going to show y'all my to-do list. Simple. I bought it from the Dollar Tree, I think for $1. And just jotting things down. I'm a writer. I love pen and paper. So it's hard for me to sometimes put things on my phone. I rarely go back and look at it. If I don't have a pen available, I do put things in my phone. I'll type it, but I always go back and write it. It's just something for me about words coming alive on paper. So I love to write things. And I ripped some pages out When they start to get all wrinkled, I'll rip them all. I like it to be neat. But this is a list that I've done and I've been through. Another list right here that I've done and been through. And today, these are all the things I wrote in a matter of about 5 minutes. So this is my list that I need to get through today. And as I go on through my activities for the day, hey, Marche, I ain't talked to you in so long. Hey, girl. As I go through this list for the day, then I might have to add additional things because I may not finish a task, or a task may require another task. So I'll have to, by the end of the day, I'll be to the end or either the back of the sheet. But I'm a task-oriented person, so you have to see what type of personality you have. I'm motivated by tasks. When I see things on paper, as far as to do things, it motivates me to get it done. I don't like leaving things undone. So that's what motivates me. Then y'all see this little small section right here in the corner? That's my husband's to-do list. He don't know yet. I'm going to share that with him when he get home. Y'all know how we do as wives. Okay, so to-do list and all the extra tasks, is such as chores. So I wanted to give a few tips in regards to chores because, again, that's what we're talking about this week. We're discussing some of the main areas that you should prep for or plan for your week. So, again, we talked about meals. We all got to eat. Work, that's very important. We got to make money, whether you own your own business or you're going to work on a job. And then the other thing is chores, a to-do list. So, just a few pointers that I want to point out in regards to chores. Number one is have a routine. If you have a routine set in place, you're more than likely going to be able to get to the chores for the week. And I have a sample or an example of what I would share with you all at the end. But for example, today is Tuesday. So every Tuesday, if I am at home in my home office, you probably don't hear it in the background, but my office is on my second floor, and so is my laundry room. So on Tuesdays, is my laundry day. So you might one time hear the dryer or the washer in the background. I don't know. I'm not going to read that out loud. But Tuesdays is my laundry day. And what I do is I wash laundry for 5 people. So what I do is I start with the biggest priority when I do laundry, because sometimes, depending on my workload, it does carry over to Wednesday. I can't stand it when it does, but I do understand that sometimes emergencies and things come up, and we talked about that. We're not going to be perfect when we're trying these things. You just do the best you can. So Tuesdays are my laundry day. I start again with the most important person in the house that have to have their clothes washed, which is my husband. I need him to go to work. I need him to make the money because I need him to pay the bills. So I start with his clothes as soon as I wake up. Before I take the kids to school, I throw in a load for him. It's washing while I drop them off. By the time I come back, I can put it in the dryer. And I don't waste any time. Like, every minute and second counts for me. And I think I talked about that as well. Sometimes I plan down to a minute. So I start my laundry as soon as I get up on Tuesdays. And then I move to the next person. I usually sometimes leave myself last, depending on how much laundry I have to do for myself. But the next person in my household is going to be my son. And he's the next priority because I have to actually wash, dry, fold, and hang all of his clothes. So that's a lot more work. So I'll do his next. And then I'll do my middle daughter because she's able to do some of her laundry in regards to putting things away. And then my oldest daughter, I'm in transition of trying to get her to wash her own clothes, but she definitely puts everything away. And it's so funny because with the youth, we had a session on Sunday, and I don't know how we got on this topic. I think we were talking about responsibility. And they were saying, your daughter don't wash her clothes already? Oh, the question was, and I know this is kind of off topic, but we got to this topic because we were talking about integrity and trust. And we were talking, and I was saying, I wash everybody's clothes in my house. And if I wash clothes in my house and I find money, should I give it to that person or should I keep it? And all of their answers was, if you wash it and you find the money, you keep it. And I told them I don't do that. I give it back to them because at some point they earned it, so it belongs to them. But they was like, well, you the mom, you get to keep the money. So it was funny. It was a very hilarious conversation. But I do give the money back to them. They said, well, how do you know who money is? How do you know who to give it back to? Well, that's part of what I do. And I wanted to mention this. I am a organized person, so I watch everybody clothes separately. I don't wash anybody clothes together because when it's time to put up the clothes, I don't have to go through sorting things. So if this one load belongs to my husband, I know that it all goes in our closet. If this one load belongs to my daughter, then I know I need to fold these clothes, put it on her bed, and then she will be able to put them up. So again, Tuesdays is my laundry day. That's how I do my laundry. You may be totally different. It's going to be different things that's going to work for different families. And that's one of the things that I've always been speaking upon every week. So if it's something that we need to discuss specifically for your family and for what works for your household, I'll be more than happy to sit down with you to come up with some strategies on what will work best for you. But that's just an example. Another example is on Thursdays is my bathroom days. I have 3 bathrooms in my house. I don't like for anybody else to clean my bathrooms but me because I'm a germaphobe. I want it done a certain type of way, and I want it done with lots of bleach. So, I mean, bleach to the point where sometimes they get choked out when they come in the house. But I just like for things to be nice and clean, and we all know how bathrooms get. So anyways, on Thursdays, that's the days that I do bathrooms. So if you get a routine when you do certain areas of your house, I believe they say it takes 3 weeks for a routine or to turn into a habit or something of that nature. I may not be quoting it correctly, but if you get into a routine of how you do things, then more than likely you will get that task accomplished. Another thing is have mandatory chores and then add the extra stuff around it. So for example, your mandatory chores may be, I want to fully clean my kitchen, not just your regular cleanup at night. I'm talking about cleaning out the refrigerator, whatever the case may be, whatever you feel like you need to go the extra mile to do in your kitchen. So you may have that. You may have your room where you get it spotless clean, not just a straighten up. You may have, like I said, your bathrooms, your laundries. Those are mandatory chores that have to be done on a weekly basis. So those things, whatever you dedicate to your mandatory chores for your house, what you want to do is you will want to plan or create a schedule for those things Monday through Saturday, Sunday, or however you want to do it. You may put the majority. I know a lot of people, when I grew up, we did a lot of chores on Saturday. Since I am a stay-at-home mom, I try to get mine done during the week while everyone's away. So what you want to do is you want to create a schedule for those, and then you work small things around it. And I'll give you an example of one of the small things that I'm talking about. The third tip is make sure you are adding chores to each day based on your workload. Example, I don't have many chores on Monday. So Monday is kind of like a calm, collective day for me. Again, I'm still trying to get over the weekend. So I don't do a whole lot. It's very busy in our household on Monday because we're getting back into the bustle of going back to work and going back to school. Traffic more crazy on Mondays. My kids got out of school earlier on Monday. So I don't do a heavy workload on Monday. I don't even cook on Mondays. We talked about that before. Sundays are my cook days. Mondays are my leftover days because it's a lot that takes place. And usually Mondays go by really quick because it's so busy. So when you're making your schedule for chores, you want to be sure that you don't put a chore that's a huge task on a day where you know it's going to be busy or you may not get to it. That's going to cause you to be frustrated. So we don't want to do that. So that is tip number 3. Number 4 is get help. Make your family help you. So for me, with my husband, he does, so say, for example, we're preparing for something, if we're hosting for something, he'll say, hey, he does this now. He'll say, hey, what can I do to help? Oh, I'm going to have a whole list. He don't know. I already got a whole list. I'm just waiting for him to ask me. And at some point, if he don't ask me, then I'll go to him and say, hey, can you do these things? We have to be able to delegate well, especially as women when we're managing our households. We have to be able to delegate things well. I have a chore list for my kids. I think it's because when I grew up on Saturday, I did a lot of chores on Saturday. So I don't really have them do chores on Saturday rather than your basic clean up your room, clean up behind yourself. So Monday through Friday, they do chores. On Sunday is more of a prep thing for the household for the week for them. So Monday through Friday, they do chores. And those small things that I'm talking about, like clean the mirrors, I may clean the bathrooms on Thursdays, but then my youngest daughter may have another day during the week where she has to clean off the sinks, and then my oldest daughter may have a day during the week where she has to go in all the bathrooms and sweep and mop them. So they're essentially getting attention more than one time a week, but it's broken up into small pieces. I hope that makes sense. And I'm bringing in help. I don't want to have to do everything by myself, especially as they get older. And as my kids get older, I may come down from doing chores. So if you have older kids, put those kids to work. I always say if the kid is at least 2 years old, they can be doing something. Something. You can show them how to make up their bed. You can show them, make sure they're putting their toys up. My kids started very, very young with at least cleaning up behind themselves, or trying to, for that matter, so that it does not cause a lot of work on you, because then again, you'll get frustrated and you'll get overwhelmed. Now, the other side to that is I may not have help. So if you're living in a household where it's just you by yourself, then clean up behind yourself. That's not an issue. You may have younger kids, or you may have a baby. So try to get people who live in your house. Even if you have extended family members, you may have your parents living with you. You may have a niece or a nephew, cousins, whatever, a friend. Try to create some type of schedule so that we'll know who's doing what on what days, so that things are covered. And for the most part, your house. Okay, and I'm back. So, another thing with getting help is you may, if you can afford it, you may want to bring in some type of maid service to come to your house once a year, twice a year, quarterly. I know people who do that. There's nothing wrong with that. So they can get all the cobwebs and clean the blinds and things like that, especially if you have a huge house. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that it's affordable and that you're not taking from other places to be able to bring in that maid service. So get help. The last thing is find motivators. The biggest thing I find, or when I first came off my job, with wanting to clean all the time, is sometimes I don't feel motivated and I don't want to do it. Can we just be honest? Sometimes I just don't want to do it. So my motivators are music, listening to different things like podcasts. You can listen to preaching, things of that nature. Or I've called my friend on the phone. A good conversation will get me through a good 3 bathrooms. I'm telling you, it works. Find things that motivate you to do what you have to do, especially on those days where you're just tired and you don't feel like it. So again, I want to go through these quickly one more time. For chores, the tips were: have a routine, have mandatory chores, add the extra stuff around it. Make sure you are adding chores each day based on your workload. Also, thank you, Andrea. Thank you for joining me. Get help. And find motivators that's going to motivate you to get the work done. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, so I won't make a part 4 of this just for this small little thing. You have to, when planning for your week, you have to include some type of me time. You have to. Because we wear so many hats as women. And oftentimes we don't leave time for ourselves to be able to replenish, refresh, relax, so that we can get the job done. So you can go from one week until the next week feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, tired, and it just causes you to do a sloppy job the next week. So in order to efficiently do what we need to do and balance day-to-day life, at some point during your week, I don't care if it's for 30 minutes, 15, 20, an hour, 2 hours. And I understand with smaller kids, it may not be easy. You may be saying, hey, I'm a single mom. If you have family members that can help you, what about when your kids take a nap? Get them into a routine of taking a nap at a certain time. Get them into a routine if they're 3 or 4, or working with blocks or working on a project at a certain time, so that you can just get some quiet downtime for yourself. There are ways around it. So I had 3 kids, so I found different ways. If you want those strategies and tips, please reach out to me. There are things that you can do even when you have no help around you. And because people may be saying, well, you have a husband, so he can help out. Yes, he does help out, and I'm grateful for that. But there are ways that if it's just you and you have small children, that you can get on some type of schedule where you can have me time for yourself. That is so, so vital and so important. So some of the things that I wrote down for examples of me time in your week. For me, I take Sunday naps. And my family knows that. So after church, most times if I don't have anything to do that is a huge priority, when I come home after everybody is, have their lunch and they know what they're eating, I'm going to lay down. So it's so funny. My kids know that to the point where they'll say, well, hey, can we do this after you wake up from your nap, your Sunday nap? Because they know it's embedded in me, in my week. Like, that's the day where I rest. And from coming home from church and then get eaten and take, that is the best nap ever in the world. So for me, that's what it is. I do my Sunday naps. But you may not have time to take a nap, or you may have small children. So what you may want to do, you may just want to go for an outing. You may just want to go for a drive by yourself. If your kids go to sleep in the car, you may just want to drive around with them, sleep in the back seat, in the car seat. You just to look at scenery. You just need downtime to be able just to relax and refresh yourself. You may want to go catch a movie. If you do have someone who can watch the kids, go catch a movie by yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Go to an inexpensive movie theater. You don't even have to go and pay full price. Or like I said, a nap. Naps are always good. Read a book. Spend an hour reading your favorite book. Do something that you're doing for yourself that's going to help you refresh and replenish for the next week. So that's all my time today. Again, we talked about chores and we talked about me time today and breaking down planning for the week. I thank you again so much for joining me. If you need to reach me, my website is tramikacraddock.com. I'm on all type of social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, of course. I don't know, Twitter, everything, email, YouTube. You can find me anywhere. Just search Tramika Craddock. Sometimes that may be followed by Tramika Craddock Planner Consultant Coach. That is me. You'll see my picture. Please feel free to reach out to me. If you're trying any of these tips and they're working for you, please share those with me. Share your testimonies. I can put some of those on my website as well. I can put them on my Facebook page. Share with me. Send pictures if it's helping you. You're more than welcome to send those things if you have any additional questions. Again, reach out to me. Go ahead, if you're on Periscope, go ahead and share this with your followers. And if you are on Facebook as well, go ahead and share this on your wall so those connected to you can get this advice as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me for another Topic Tuesday. I will see you here next week. You all have a productive rest of the week.